Welcome. This is Rabbi Elchanan Poupko with the Jewish World Podcast. We are here with Silvina Frydlewsky from Argentina. She is a long time journalist in Argentina. She has been a contributing journalist to the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, I never have an easy time pronouncing Spanish, but El Universal and The Guardian and many other publications. Welcome.
Welcome. Hi, and thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you for being
Buenos
here.
Aires.
You know, sometimes we're so busy with what's going on in America and Israel that we lose focus of the many beautiful Jewish communities there are around the world. One of them is Argentina, which you're very familiar with. If you can just give us a general idea of what Jewish life in Argentina is like today, the schools, the synagogues, the life, the journalism, I'd love to hear.
Thank you so much. So the Jewish community is the biggest in Latin America. The Jewish community here, they became from after the First War. They start making the immigration here. The colony starts in the ground. And now we can say that the community is really important here. We have a lot of schools. We have a big community. We have our community connect, schools, clubs, and synagogues. Every Friday that they meet. That we have neighborhoods like Chinatown could be, and we have a big neighborhood called 11 neighborhood, where
in Buenos Aires.
All there in Buenos Aires, but the community is bigger in Cordoba province too. They start at the colonies that where the Jewish arrived first, helped by the.
I think Baron Hirsch, right? Was he? Baron Hirsch was in the 1800s.
Exactly. So I love go there and I visit them. I make a big assignment for the Washington Post 2030, and so I connect with them. The Jewish community there, they used to be farmers first, and they still have communities there. Every Friday opens the synagogue, but they are they get only the I'm trying to say, so the oldest people still there, but the youngest, so they are leaving the community. So we have in Villa Dominguez, and it's a small community. There are tourists around there. You have a museum, so where you can find your grandfathers, if you look of them. We have a cemeteries there where all the history is there, no? And we call the Jewish colonies.
Wow, that's
Jewish...
Originally the way I came across your name was your work. You did a lot of work for the Washington Post about the Jewish Gauchos, the sort of Jewish cowboys.
We call Juan Ferrero, who writes the article, he calls the last Jewish Gaucho. So what I was telling you, the community are smaller, and who came. For example, we centered in a Gaucho, Jaime Cruz.
What's his name?
Jaime Cruz.
Jaime Cruz. Wow,
yeah.
It's Chaim is the shtetl name, and the Cruz, I guess, is more of a Latin name.
Yeah, it's sure. And his father came from Russia, and he stayed. And the Villa Dominguez community, where the community this year have 100 years. The community today, his birth, they celebrate 100 years that was what was
So
started
100 years for the farm or for the colony?
for a colony.
And it was founded by Baron Hirsch, right? Am I right? It was Baron Hirsch. The idea was, I think, that some people were thinking of a Jewish state in what was then Palestine. Others were thinking about Uganda. And some people were thinking about Buffalo, New York. And some people were thinking about Latin America and Argentina.
Yeah, there in Villa Dominguez, for example, you have like today a museum, but was the train station where the colons arrived. So they came by boat, no, to Buenos Aires, and then they took them. Baron Hirsch, for example, or most, and they took it by train to Villa Dominguez to the farm. And
Wow.
they start, they sell, no, not sell, as rent them a part of the land. So they work there. Then and that was the community start growing up more. All their work in the farms at this time, no? And this place, this city is still a farmer place.
Wow. Are there any Jewish farmers left there? Are there any Jews still farming the land in Bicha Dominguez or in the Baron Hirsch colonies?
Yeah.
Wow.
They still not so much because they son kids so leave this place because they are really small. There you have only first school, and if you grow up and you need to found
high school,
university, high school, so they start leaving. But Jaime Cruz, for example, and his wife, they remained there, and he until his last day he was working at the farm with cows, horses, a little Zoya. They rent spaces, and he still was in love showing, for example, for me and for the other journalists, an asado, not typical Argentinian meat cook there. So he wasn't really in love with the farm, with the community, because he was the chief of the community.
He's the head of the Jewish Gaucho community.
No, Jewish community in Villa Dominguez. Each town have his own Jewish community head. And they work a lot trying to Jewish people to came to show them how they live, how they still try to conserve our memories, our history. No, he was really proud about his history, our history. I was in Delaware, how I say to you, the GCC community sponsor exhibit I made in Wilmington, Delaware.
Oh, I was just there. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I went through on the way to Washington, but yeah.
Yeah, I saw you. And it was really incredible because I show pictures. I made a photo exhibit there, and I met. I have an introduction. I was really incredible. I showed picture about the Jewish community here in Buenos Aires, how they live, the Orthodox neighborhood, etc. The AMIA. Well, we talk a little later, and special work I made there in Villa Dominguez, and I explained all the Wilmington community who came, how we arrived, how they arrived, how they still live, and was incredible because when the exhibit opening finished, I start talking with people like me. So my grandfather came from Poland, and today Lithuania, Russia, my grandfather from the other side.
Ah, another Litvak. So I am also Lithuanian Jew.
Yeah.
So they came from Poland and Lithuania?
Yeah, from my father's side, Frydlewsky is my father's side, is
You know
Poland.
which, the Lithuanian ones, you know which city or town in Lithuania?
I can give you in a minute because I became Lithuanian this year because we make all the paper with my
Oh,
family.
really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know there's a trend
I'm
like
really
that.
proud. I'm really proud that
You're
we
a
have
real
the
Litvak.
yeah. My mother, my sisters, we all together. We pick up all the papers from my grandfather.
Wow.
I don't remember, but I don't remember what's bill now. I will
Wow.
show
So
you.
he came from Vilna or wherever it was to South America, to Argentina.
And Berelsonas was is his surname, Berelson. I
Berelson.
think
Like
Berelson, but
yeah.
here he was Benjamin Berelsonas.
Oh, Berelsonas.
Berelsonas.
Wow.
And he has sisters and brothers. One of them went to South Africa.
Also, a
Others,
lot of Lithuanian Jews, South Africa.
another to the States. So I
Wow.
have family around the world because some of them choose the boat from to Buenos Aires, and his family, they fix different ways they choose to live. I don't know, but a brother, my brothers from Berelson, my grandfather was a teacher, school teacher, and in the colonies too.
Wow.
Mayor Berelsonas.
Wow. And he taught Hebrew subjects or
Yeah. My grandfathers and mothers, between them, they talk in the Yiddish.
Yiddish, yes.
Yeah.
And I've heard Yiddish with all kinds of accents. I don't think I heard Yiddish with a South American, Argentinian twist, but I would love to one day. It's because like you're saying, a lot of Jews did go from Lithuania and Poland and ended up in Argentina.
Between them, we take breakfast with mate, and when I was young, I sit with them to talk a little. And when they wouldn't want to me to understand something, they start talking in Yiddish.
In Yiddish, wow.
And I say, "Oh no, please, don't." I don't understand, but I remember words.
Got it. Let me ask you the most.
I still use.
I'll ask you the most important question you can ask about Jewish life, and that is food. What kind of food? Is there a unique Jewish Argentinian cuisine? Is it the Gaucho steak cuisine? Is it Lithuanian kasha and herring? What's the story with Jewish food in Argentina?
So we have another side that we have a big community divided in Ashkenazis and Sephardi's too. So
and do they mix at all, or everyone lives their own life?
Today they are mixed. Past years, so they don't like to mix. But today is really, and it's in like fashion way that today the Jewish food connect with all the Argentinian community. Because there are like funny restaurants, and but if you know that we have, if you go to the Orthodox neighborhood, so you can find Ashkenazi food everywhere, and every Friday challah, and you can buy. And the Sephardi community is really important by food. Selling.
They have better
really,
food. I'm a Litvak, but I will confess they have better food.
yeah, and my grandmother from Berelson side, she loves to cook every Friday. So Ashkenazi food. I remember, and I have tips to cook today to my family too, and my mother. So all our community, our family. Try to conserve our memory.
The Ashkenazi food and
my side is, but my family get engaged with Sephardi side, so we have
mix.
both.
I think in most Jewish communities, everyone just decided that sushi is the official Jewish food. That's what happens in a lot of places. This sushi has taken over. Not by you guys. You guys are still going with the traditional.
You can find a lot of sushi restaurant here.
Kosher sushi.
I think if you go to Orthodox neighborhood, you can find it. You have McDonald's or kosher too here.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
It's inside the Orthodox neighborhood where you have supermarkets, kosher supermarkets. You can find wherever you need. You have a kosher meat places to buy meat, kosher, too special by Orthodox. I don't know how to say, but
super kosher supervision. But what about the Gauchos area? What do they do for kosher food? I mean, they own all the food because they're ranchers, I guess, so they have a lot of available food. But
what I know, there is no place for them. They are not professed like Orthodox side.
In a way, that's a tragedy because it's like they say the shoemaker's children walk barefoot. So the Gauchos are raising all this cattle, but you can't get kosher food. So
maybe they I can find I can try to find if they used to, but I'm not really sure that they can find the kosher meat there. But normally they cook Jewish food, but not especially kosher where I was, because you are in the middle of nothing. You have no hospital, for example, inside these small cities.
Don't they have like kosher shchita people who come from Israel? And because Argentina is a big exporter of meat, so aren't there shochtim who come there to do it just for export purposes?
I know that Israel took send how you say shochet here to Buenos Aires to make it. When I remember when the pandemic was, they are really interesting. Send them. No. And I think I know that Argentina exports meat, kosher meat too.
Wow.
It's we export food, meat everywhere, and I know that they come here to make it. How you say? Bueno, te lo digo en español. Es en español. The rabbis come here from Israel.
Okay, yeah. The rabbis to do the supervision.
But we have here too, no? So because we have a big community, a lot, and rabbis that can make it.
Wow. Let me take a shift to a more serious and tragic subject. The AMIA bombing this week marked the 29th anniversary of the bombing of the Jewish Community Center in Buenos Aires. The bombing was perpetrated by, I believe, Iranian terrorists. How does that still loom over the Jewish community? Is there a feeling that justice was not done? What do you can you just give me sort of how that reflects? I mean, it affects all Jews, but I'm sure nobody's more affected than the Argentinian Jewish community.
Yeah, for first, every year we remember in the same street that the bomb was the bomb attack in front of the AMIA institution, Pasteur Street. It's in the Orthodox neighborhood where
Wow.
where the AMIA.
And it's like AMIA, just to understand, it's like it's a Jewish community center, it's a school. What is it?
No, it's the AMIA is the Jewish Community Association, for
So it's like a
example.
federation where the offices are.
Exactly. It's the more biggest association that the Jewish community have here. Is represented by they choose a president, vice president, etc. For example, the biggest cemetery, the biggest Jewish cemetery, is administration. Is they make the administration, so all
the community offices. It's like sort of like the federations. We have here JCRC, Jewish Community Relations, or sort of a umbrella organization for the Jewish community.
For the Jewish community, for example, the synagogues, they receive help for security, etc. AMIA represents all of the different, and they have job offers. It's really a big institution, and when the terrorist attack was, people were there working, the bomb attack around the street, not only Jewish people who were walking in the streets. So this terrorist attack represents all Argentinians, not only the Jewish community, and all Argentinians feel really embraced about what happened here. Nobody can make an expression about it was not a crime, it was not a terrorist attack.
No, it was and so just to understand. So this is 1994, I believe. There's a big explosion. How long did it take before they figured out that it was Iran?
The worst thing is that there's not still the justice don't still say anything conclusion.
Really, there's no but
we are still waiting for
they wouldn't release
justice.
All the information.
Exactly.
But we do know it was Iran.
We know. We know. We know a lot of details, but there is not still justice who say this or that. The politics are really
they won't say, the politician. Why won't they? Why is there sort of this cover up of the Argentinian government not saying or giving all the information?
The government, the Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner government before was really connect with Iran. They
really
make for example, she is in justice because he tried to she tries to not to bring all the Iranians here to the justice.
Wow,
And with paper signs.
And why are they covering it up? Why? Just because the Iran and Argentina are close?
Depends who the politicians there the moment, but the justice is not they are not make the final decision yet. So 29 years.
29 years.
So, and we are still waiting for really justice. Different government in different spaces of these different years. The justice tries to and start and go back, but we know that Hezbollah, we know that was a car bomb, we know lots of things, but truly final we have not. For example, there was Alberto Nisman who was investigating. He was prosecutor for this prosecutor for this case, and he recollect a lot of information in a lot of years. He appears 6 years ago. He appears he appears like a suicide.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Alberto Nisman. I will write to you because in the.
I mean, tell anyone can look it up. Alberto, what's his last name?
Nisman.
So he knows about who this might
he
be.
He was Jewish.
He was Jewish, an investigator of the AMIA bombing, and he suddenly
the government
found it.
Put him to investigate.
Wow.
Continue.
When was this? When was he found dead?
2018.
Unbelievable. Terrible.
I will write to you exactly the year. Yesterday, when the AMIA memory, when we have the memorial, the AMIA's president talk about all of this stage, and we need to remember too that Alberto Nisman is not with us anymore. The government tries to say that was a suicide, but a lot of Argentinians.
Nobody really believes that.
No, not really. And all this kind of the justice here is really difficult to understand. Maybe from other countries like the States or Europe or Israel or wherever, because as unbelievable that 29 years we are still waiting for justice. And it's not only because this about this case, it's normal with politics and different kind of interests are fixed together. And the justice is not, for me, is not impartial. No?
Right. It has to be
difficult to say.
Justice.
Difficult to say that. Maybe you need to get this, but it's really difficult to find
justice in this. Well, look, I don't know if I would connect these stories, but maybe we can talk about this. That Eichmann is found in it was already famous, but more famous with the video Operation Finale on Netflix. But Eichmann is caught in Buenos Aires, and it's not because he was just there alone, because many Nazis, including Mengele, they fled to Argentina.
Yeah.
Do you
unfortunately,
do you see
we are famous for really, unfortunately, history.
Is there a connection? Are there many Nazis in government, children of Nazis, grandchildren of Nazis?
Not today, but we know that when Perón, General Perón was the president here, we know, it's not, you cannot find signed anywhere, but we know, the community, the country, the people knows that at this time when Perón was the president, so he was military, and
there were children of Nazis in government?
Sorry?
Were there any children of Nazi war criminals, people like Eichmann, who were working in the Argentinian government?
No, no,
No.
no, no,
So
no, no, no. We know that they were in this. They was in the south of the country, most found in the Patagonia, in the south, and we know where they were living until they were found, and etc., etc. But it's really difficult to know if still what are they doing. They really was covered, no, everywhere. I'm not sure that I can find I'm not sure we can find someone. Nobody wants to
meaning
be
to say
here.
it's never nobody in the Jewish community is running into Eichmann's grandchildren. It's not any trouble. It's not a source of any trouble for the community. That's in the past.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, for
Wow.
my opinion. So if you can find documentaries about where they was, what they make, how they live, but we have no information.
They're done. It's not a, it's
about
interesting.
Today. But we know that they were here. They came.
I interviewed on this podcast Yariv Moser. He is the person who put together, also on Netflix, he found the Eichmann tapes. And I believe he's putting out another documentary soon, or a set about the Eichmann in Hungary, specifically in Kastner. But yeah, look, a lot of the tapes and the journalists that were involved are Argentinian. But I'm happy to hear that that's no longer, it's not a source of any trouble, and it's really mostly the Iranian connection that's causing the trouble.
I'm not investigating about that, but I cannot say today that they are still between us. No, they are not.
They don't have. There's no Nazi association or something.
No, of course not. I'm sure that it's not only because the Jewish community here is really big, strong, and is really fixed in the Argentinian community. I don't think they can.
There's no Nazi. All right. Unfortunately, in America, there is a growing movement of really the worst elements of humanity, of Nazis. I don't want to even mention their names, but they're definitely rearing their very, very ugly head. And thank God that that's not happening in Argentina.
No, it's not happening. Maybe you can find a crazy one who.
Yeah. They're all crazy. They're completely nuts.
That he still have special
swastika or something,
etc. Like a museum, and they put in the jail. If you find someone,
I wish they would do that
here. The police find someone who shows that he is connected with the Nazis, etc., and if they
jail.
If they have
we should do that here.
Yeah, the law could go on with this kind of situation, not for the AMIA atentado, no? The terrorist attack, but no, it's not really common. In young people, it's not. For example, we will have election next month and next 2 months. And there was a candidate who said something because he didn't condemn the AMIA situation, and everybody's over him. So you cannot, if you think like that, it's better don't talk so open, because the community Argentines, it's like to understand that it's not feels really good for us, for Argentina. We prefer don't to. If someone talks to your son like you're Jewish something, so it's not it's not connect with what we try to teach to our kids.
Got it.
No?
So there in terms of anti-Semitism from Argentinian society, not from Iranian terrorists, what's is that a big deal? Is there, if I walk around Buenos Aires with this kippa, will I have any trouble?
It's really normal. It's really normal. I was
No problem.
yesterday, no problem. I was yesterday. I was in a bus, and I was with in front of me a young boy with like a schoolboy with his school talking by phone and with his kippa.
Wow, amazing.
No, it's really normal. It's really normal.
Got it. That's good.
Because the communities really connect with each other, and maybe you can find the crazy everywhere, but we everybody connect, and it's not really something that shows up here.
Got
in
it.
Buenos Aires, but because the Jewish community is big. So when I was, for example, I was living in Spain for 10 years, and was different because Frydlewsky, please spell it. Here is a really common surnames like mine.
Like Jewish, like Frydlewsky or
Frydlewsky, with a lot of words that you need to spell.
Got it.
It's because
let me so you mentioned the schoolboy. Probably the most important part of Jewish life is Jewish education. Tell me about the schools, high schools. What is there in Buenos Aires in terms of education? How's it going?
No.
Is it like in America where it's extremely expensive and sometimes not affordable to some people? How's the education story going there?
Well, the education is in all stage. The Jewish education, you can start with kindergarten, first primary school, secondary school, and we have the ORT organization.
Yeah. I happen to be, I met someone
biggest.
from Argentina and I heard about ORT, and it's amazing how many kids they have.
Right.
And
But first, normally, kindergarten, primary, secondary school are private institutions, Jewish private institutions. They are not really cheaper, so it's not for everybody. You can find different ways, no? So you have in the Orthodox neighborhood, Orthodox school
for everything.
Yes, the Shiva, the
Yeshiva.
I try to remember
Talmud Torah, Yeshiva.
Yeah, but the Chabad.
Oh, Chabad. Okay.
Chabad is big here too. So they help they are not rich who can study and Jewish.
So they make sure everyone gets a Jewish education.
Yeah, but the Orthodox neighborhood more and more. But the middle class, middle class, so they can choose tarbut, different private schools for primary, secondary school. Yes, for sure. And a lot of Jews choose how we say this, normally schools too. Not only the Jewish are in the Jewish education, no? They fix. Ort institution. So you have.
I know. I've heard about Ort. It's great that they have a school that's
Ort fix not only Jewish.
Really? So not
really.
only Jews. What percentage of Ort is not Jewish?
20%.
20%. So it's like a Jewish cultural school.
Yeah, because it's they have
private.
a great level of education. So many Buenos Aires students are choosing, and Ort have a primary school too. now,
Wow.
2 years ago. So it's really good. And then you have clubs, Akoach, Hebraica, and Maccabi, 3 clubs,
Sports.
sports, and the social institution to different country clubs too.
Wow.
You have houses there. My grandfather, Rabbi Elchanan, bought a small house in Hebraica, how do you say this, country club. So on the weekend, you
You hang out with other Jews. Let me ask you, since I see it in New York and I'm a big fan of the Spanish and Portuguese community, I know a lot of the Jews who came to South America originally, the very, very first one, 500 years ago, were converso Jews, anusim, crypto Jews, different names. Is there any kind of remembrance of that, customs, traditions? In New York, there's a Spanish Portuguese synagogue, in London, in Amsterdam. Also, is there any kind of preservation of the legacy of Spanish Jews who came to Argentina 500 years ago?
It's different. It's a difficult question. Normally were the Sephardi's,
Right.
no?
Well, yeah,
That
the Spanish Jewries, crypto Jews or anusim, they had even customs that were unique. So I can tell you in America, for example, they have in Rhode Island, Shereth Israel. They have the Touro Synagogue. There's Shereth Israel in New York. I believe there's Shereth Israel in Charleston, South Carolina, Georgia. A lot of the first people to arrive were Bnei Anusim. So is there any kind of Bnei Anusim, or at least a memory in the community that the first Jews that came to Latin America were from Sepharad, from Spain?
no, they came from Damascus or from
So it's Syrian Sephardic.
yeah. What I know, so
Well, there were
they are,
still Jews who came before them. It just it may not be the same institutions, but there
of
were Jews who
course.
came before. Wow.
No, I really don't. I don't really have information about that. We have a reminiscence, but because they were from Sepharad, how we say, no? Sepharad, and the Arabic connections fixed with the Jewish Sefaradis. No, I think more the Russian community was bigger
Wow.
from and they mix with the Sephardi. It's bigger that the Russian connection. Our ancestors are become more from the Ashkenazi
Other
side.
countries.
The colonies first. They came from there, but we are an immigrant country. We have big immigration. We have a fourth stage of immigration who came in different
Right,
ways.
different waves. Question.
Yeah.
In terms of connection to other Jewish communities, not only Israel, I know because South America is a bit far. How does it work? Is the community self-contained? Are there people always coming and going? Are the young people staying and dating and getting married in the community, or are they traveling to Miami or Panama or who knows where? How does the Argentinian Jewish community connect to other communities?
What I know from my side, that we try to be connect with Israel, for example. There are a lot of programs who helps our Jewish community travel, study, or make an travel and education and travel, etc. We know that the Israel helps a lot to us, and our communities make groups travels to know the Israel, the history, and this is really big. Between the Jewish communities around Latin America, I'm not,
Not so much.
I
There
have
isn't
no
like a Latin
information.
American.
No, I have no information, but I know that if I ask, I can find more connections. Normally, people who travel here, if they are Jewish and they want to know our history or how we live, how we are, so all
So people
other
come. There
Jewish.
is Jewish tourism.
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
Yeah, I think if there is, for example, the colonies, no, they try to send invitations to meet them, to know them, to show how they live, how they how it was before. You have a viaje a las colonias, no, travel to the colonies, and they make you like a guest to be there. They are not really big community, so they are always trying to preserve, to conserve the history. It's not easy, not easy communication, not easy travel, it's and found hotels, everything. So we are, but they are always trying, and they make it.
Got it. All right, terrific. Silvina Frydlewsky, I got it right, and this was absolutely fascinating. I hope I can get one day to visit Buenos Aires and the Gauchos, the Jewish cowboys.
Be my guest, and I will try to show you what we have, what we can offer all the Jewish and all the community here, because we love to be connected. And for me, it was incredible trying to show our history. So, for example, there in Wilmington with the Jewish community, and I understand that we are the same in different countries, but our grandfathers or grandfathers choose different places, but we have a good connection. No, I think we have.
Look, you and me definitely, because it goes back to Vilna, but other Jews, we go back even farther back. But yes,
incredible.
It's we're a big family in different places.
Big family in different places. See, I have family in Boston too.
Oh, very nice. Okay,
yeah,
not so far.
Yeah, Beryl son who choose the states, and I know they are around.
Everyone went their own way, and
everyone. Yeah, of course. No, it was really incredible, and I'm sorry if my English is. I would try to
no. Look,
explain
it's
a little
the
better.
whole.
Because I make me a little nervous, and
look, it's the whole idea of this podcast is to get a Jewish perspective from all over the world, and I know Americans don't think this, but actually, not the whole world speaks English, and it's not the first language in every country. So I appreciate it. You did great, and thank you so much. And if you ever come to the U.S., it would be great to see you here.
I will be there, I'm sure. Soon I will let you know, of course.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.